So I'm on my way home from grandma's and I'm in the car and I had a couple of motorcycles pass me. So I thought I thought I would give y'all a little funny true life story about me. How I learned to drive a motorcycle. Don't ask me what I was thinking, you guys. I was young. I was 19. I loved motorcycles, but I did not know how to drive one. Nope, sure didn't. But guess what? I bought one. I sure did. Bought the motorcycle, had no idea how to drive it. I actually talked a friend of mine into driving it home from the dealership for me. And of course, I was on the back. And oh, you guys, she was beautiful. Now, you have to remember, this is early 90s. She was black and purple, and she was a small size. She was a 250, a ninja Kawasaki 250, purple and black. Oh, she was the sweetest thing ever. I just loved her, but I was terrified to learn how to drive her. But so what happened was oh my goodness. So I was actually living with a friend of mine, and I of course had the bike parked out front. Well, one afternoon, one of our neighbors comes knocking on the door. Now, I didn't really know him, but I had seen him and the other guy. They lived like an apartment over. And so he was asking, he's like, is that one of y'all's bikes? And of course, being 19 and single, and he was a cutie, I was trying to act all impressive, and I was like, well, that's my bike, not wanting to tell him that, oh, by the way, I have no idea how to drive the thing. But I was like, oh, yeah, that's mine. Oh my gosh, I did not know that he had a bike, because he parked his bike in the back of this like little covered patio that we had in the back of each one of the apartments. I about died, because he says to me, oh, well, I parked my bike in the back. He's like, we should go riding sometime together. Oh my gosh. And so I was like, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to come clean about this. And sure enough, I did have to come clean, because what happened is for like 2 weeks, you guys, 2 weeks, I kept bumming rides to work. And after 2 weeks, all of my friends were like, okay, we love you, but we're tired of you bumming rides. You're gonna have to learn how to drive this thing, right? So I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? So I had to come clean, you guys. I knocked on his door and I said, hey, I gotta be honest. I said, I bought this bike. I have no idea how to drive the thing. And let me tell you, a beautiful friendship turned up out of that, because what ended up happening is his bike was a lot bigger and he needed to take the test. So what we did was I let him borrow my bike to take the test. In exchange, he taught me how to drive my bike. And how we did that was, at first, we just kind of, in the parking lot of the apartment complex, he would just go over the parts of the bike with me. And then from there, it went to just me sitting on the bike, parked, not running or anything like that, just parked, and, learning the clutch and all that, the brake, how to start it. And then from there, we moved on to Dan, that was his name, sitting in the front, and then I would sit behind him, and and then also I would sit in the front and he would sit in the back, and and then eventually we would ride side by side together. And then after that, I was on my own, which, oh my goodness, I was so terrified the first time I rode that bike without him next to me. Oh my gosh, I was And I cannot tell you how many times I would get to a stop sign and I would not be balanced correctly, and this was me. Whoop. And I cannot tell you how many houses I had to go knock on, in which that was funny too, because here I am, I didn't really weigh a whole lot. I was a skinny little thing, and I'm knocking on these people's doors and asking them, if they could please help me, that my bike fell over. And then of course, they're thinking a bicycle. They're not thinking a motorcycle, right? So anyway, that was just really, really funny. I learned a lot from having a motorcycle. I had the best time on it. I'll tell you what I really did like about it is when you're young and you're going out on your motorcycle, what I loved about it is at the end of the night, you didn't have to give so many people a ride home, because, you could only fit one other person on your motorcycle, and that was my friend Shannon. So it did have its advantages. I did not like riding in the rain with the bike. That was not good, but man, just to be free, it was so nice and such a great, wonderful experience. I loved it. Now I will tell you, again, this was back in the early 90s. When you are a female and you have a bike, it did nothing for my love life. I can tell you that. I remember one time I was working at this spot, this little Dollar Tree, and this guy was, saying he could give me a ride home. And I was like, no, it's okay. I've got my bike out front. Well, he showed up at closing time thinking that I had a bicycle out front. And when I said, oh, no, I've got my motorbike. Well, that was the last I ever saw of him. And same thing one time when I was at the beach. Really, really, really cute guy came up and he's like, let me walk you back to your car. And we walked back to the bike, and yeah, he wanted nothing to do with me. So my bike ended up being my little honey for a while. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that with y'all. I thought that was kind of a funny story. I mean, what was I thinking? 19 years old, and I bought a motorcycle not even knowing how to drive it. I just don't even know. And my poor mother, I swear, you guys, every time she would hug me goodbye, it was like she was hugging me in case that was the last time that she saw me. She was so worried about me being on that bike. I really think that that's where all her gray hair came from. Me and that bike. And I can still remember her telling me, I better not catch any of your sisters on that back of that bike. Yeah, those were the good times. So, all right. Anywho, I just thought you guys would like to know a little Tracy story. Okay.